Whether you're a beginner or you're intermediate when it comes to doing tarot, I am going to explain a few of the key tips and tricks that I use for tarot. Now, this is just my advice. You don't have to take it, but this is I tried it so you don't have to. Tarot edition. So I'm going to teach you a little bit about tarot. Again, I'm not going to say I'm not a professional because I do this every single day. This is my profession. This is my main profession. So I will say that there are other ways that you can read tarot. And I'll start with this. The one thing that I feel like people don't always recognize when you're doing tarot is that the understanding and learning the meanings is incredible to your process and learning how to do tarot. But the thing about it is that a lot of the main source of understanding tarot on a larger sector or trying to deliver it to other people is by using your own intuition, using your own discernment. And the way to increase your intuition and increase your discernment is by meditation. And it doesn't always have to be meditation, but meditation, talking with your guides, talking with God, source, whoever you believe in, and that's how you can start. So the way that I started when I first started, a lot of people say that you have to buy your own cards. Now, this is something you can do, and it's definitely an option, but it's not the only option to start. So what I would do to start, this is what I did. I didn't know anybody who did tarot in my life. I knew no one in my life who was going to give me a tarot deck. So I bought my own deck. And the best thing that you can do is this is my first deck actually, is buy a deck that is the traditional tarot. I'll move my head so you can see. So traditional tarot, if you want, there are ones on the TikTok shop that actually explain what the meaning is of the card. And I would take your time studying this. Now, you don't have to do this, but I also feel like this is part of the process of learning how to administer tarot for yourself and for others. So the first thing that I would say here too as well is use your intuition, obviously, but step 2 is learning the cards. Learning the cards. And in a traditional tarot deck, there is 78 cards. And each of these cards have different meanings. So naturally, it's going to take a little bit longer than you would like, to learn all of these cards. Now, what I did was do flashcards. I wrote down the meanings, the general meanings of each card. I got the general meanings online. I also got the general meanings from different videos. So I researched different videos for every meaning so I could see different perspectives of what people were saying about what each card meant. Now, when you're actually administering a reading, it doesn't have to, I'm not saying you can't do this, but it doesn't have to be the traditional reading every single time. It doesn't have to be the traditional meaning every single time. Like the Queen of Pentacles here. The Queen of Pentacles naturally means that a person is a nurturer. It also means that they are in a sense of knowing. It has a lot to do, Pentacles have a lot to do with money and finances and the material realm. And so this can be how you interpret it, but what you don't want to do is regurgitate every single general meaning and give that to your clients or people you're reading for, friends, family, even yourself. Like I said, the intuition is a enhancement to how you do tarot. And honestly, the intuition to me, in my opinion, is the most important aspect of doing tarot. The reason I say it's the most important aspect in doing tarot is because your subconscious mind is reading these cards in a certain way. So even if you don't know the meaning of the cards, if you look at a card, it will give you answers without you even knowing it, okay? So what I did to learn the cards was flashcards. And then also every single day I pulled a card out of the deck, and it can be, regular shuffling where you just grab one card. I got the moon, right? And then I studied this card. I studied the card. What does the card look like? What does it look like in the traditional tarot? What is the pictures? What are these pictures telling me? And then when I looked at the card, I also thought about, okay, now what's the general meaning? What's the general meaning of this card? What does this card represent? What is the symbolism? What do I see here that sticks out to me specifically? Okay? And every day that I did this, it gave me a stronger sense or a stronger energy of what each card meant to me and also the general meaning. So I was learning the cards one day at a time. Now, you don't have to know every single card in the deck to start doing tarot. But professionally, if you're selling your readings or if you're doing something like that, I definitely think you should know every single card. Now, that's just my opinion, because you don't want to lead people astray, right? You don't want to lead people astray. A lot of people see tarot as entertainment, and it can be for sure, but a lot of people take this very seriously because it is spirituality. These are just tools that you're using to connect deeper with your own gifts. So if you're practicing tarot, anybody can do it. And I want to remind you that anybody can do tarot. Anybody can do tarot. Anybody can grow their intuition. Everybody has that power, but multiple people have specific gifts that help them read the cards better. And as you read the cards better, as you meditate, as you grow your intuition, as you do rituals, you continue to expand on your gifts specifically. Now, for me personally, what I do in a reading or in a practice reading, I do not pull any cards. I just gather the person's energy before. You can start with a mantra. Now, if you don't want to do a specific mantra, you're going to know. It's just going to happen. It's just going to connect, and it's going to change over time. So if you do something different and then you decide to try something else new, that there's nothing wrong with that. So some people say, I allow spirits to pass through me. Some people have a bell. Some people, like me, start out with sage. I know it's like down to the bulb, but some people start out with sage and ask for a cleansing to cleanse the space, to cleanse the energy in the air, and to connect. Now, I'll say what I do, and then you can, make your own mantra. Basically, I close my eyes. I say I cleanse this energy. I always shuffle the deck before I bring in new energy, because you want to clear out this energy. That's also why sage. I clear the energy in the cards and I say, take a deep breath, allowing spirit to pass through me. I use my physical body as a channel. I use my mouth as a channel to receive whatever messages you feel this person needs to hear at this time. Now, that can be changed based on if it's a love reading or if it's a general reading, career reading, whatever specifics you have. You can even do this for yourself. And I say, I use my mouth as a channel. I allow you to speak through me. Angels, ancestors, guides, I ask that you come in at this time and reveal to me whatever messages you feel this person or me needs to hear right now in this moment. I ask for any visions. Now, you don't have to do this section, but before I start the cards, I close my eyes and whatever I see, I write down. And it usually has a deeper meaning to the person that I'm channeling, which gives them it gives me insight on what the reading's already going to be about. And it also helps the other person see what I'm channeling. And it gives them more insight on what's going on a deeper level without the cards. So I ask for the visions, I write them down, and I start. By starting this, you can do this very simply. You can split the deck. And when you split the deck, sorry, my cards are looking a little crazy. When you split the deck, you can already tell what the reading is going to be about, right? So if you split the deck and you see the Knight of Cups and you see the Six of Swords, you're seeing that somebody is moving on to calmer shores and they're allowing themselves to become more vulnerable. Somebody may be coming in. If this is a love reading, they're moving forward. They're moving in a positive direction forward. And you can tell by kind of what the reading is going to look like before you even pull cards. I use this tip a lot of the time to kind of gain insight, especially if you're a beginner, to help you understand what's going on in the cards. And it's also a signal to let you know what the reading is essentially generally going to be about. okay? I'm also going to break down the arcanas. Also, when you get your first deck, if you do not get a beginner's deck, you know, on the TikTok shop, something like this, but there's also ones that have like, you know, the sign that it's associated with for the zodiac. And it also has like the general meaning and what it means in reverse. Okay, if you're reading reversals. Now, this is optional. You do not have to read reversals. Some tarot readers read reversals, others do not. I do sometimes, and sometimes I don't. So it's really just about, again, what you feel called to do in that reading. So if you're not getting a beginner's deck that tells you what's on the cards themselves, get yourself a deck that has a book. This is a guideline. It will literally tell you what every single card has to help you study. This is The Secrets of the Witch's Garden. I can link it below if you're interested. Just let me know in the comments. This is like one of my favorite decks actually too. It's so pretty. It's the one I use majority of the time. I use it a lot of the time. It's so pretty. So I'll show you a little bit about what the book has. It has spells in here as well. So if you're interested in that, it has spreads even. So if you're interested in learning about spreads and what spreads mean and what type of spreads work best for you, I would get this deck. I mean, get this, get this deck because it comes with this as well. Okay, and it breaks it down for you in depth. They have in-depth meanings. They also have an introduction to the things, spell casting steps, how to use tarot. So tarot is separated into different sections. Okay, there's the major arcana, right? And the major arcana is the master energy on what's going on in a spread. So if you see a major arcana, which is, I think it's 21 cards or 22 cards. I think so. Hold on, y'all. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's 21 cards, but I could be wrong. Hold on. I think so, yeah. But it always starts with the Fool. Okay, this is from Ground Zero. A lot of people don't like the Fool. But this here explains it to you, what the Fool is, what the Fool means. It gives you a basic description. It also tells you, look, it literally tells you what sign it's under. The air sign. It says Mastery, Mercury. So this is, the Magician card reigns over Mercury. So you know that it's connected to Mercury. That's the zodiac that it's connected to, or the planet that it's connected to. Okay, so seeing these differences, you're getting, the major arcana is the most heavily influenced part of the deck. So if you're seeing these cards, they are going to have a heavier meaning than your other suits. Okay, so it's like basically in like a deck of cards, you know, they have the Joker and things like that. So the Joker is that mastery card or that wild card. It's that master card over all other cards. And that's what the major arcana is. And then you have suits. You have swords. You have wands. You have pentacles. And you have cups. Okay? So each of these mean different things. The cups represent your emotions. They represent what you're feeling on, what you're reflecting, how you are feeling internally, okay? A lot of the time, the cups are representative of your emotions. That's why this knight here is representative of his feelings, feeling flirty, knight in shining armor, vulnerability. It can mean different things. 8 of Cups is representing walking away from something, okay? So we're seeing all of these things that are representing in cups, which is the emotion sector, all right? Wands represent, to me and to others, can represent that driving action. It's usually action-induced or taking you places. Fire, it's representative to fire, so it oftentimes represents like quick movement or things that are going on in the action sector of your life, the way that things that are going, what you're seeing in your reality, your physical reality, okay? It can also be internal sometimes. And then we have swords. Swords is about the intellect part of you, the logical side of you, the thinking, the knowing, the doing part of you. It's more masculine, I would say, but that's just, again, my opinion. And then we have the Pentacles. The Pentacles is about your physical reality. It's majorly, there we go, majorly about your finances. It could be about wealth. It could be about what you're working on. It could represent career. It represents a lot of those areas and sectors of materialism, okay? And so that's the basic breakdown of kind of what you need to know when it comes to starting tarot. Now you can separate and go off into oracle decks as well. And oracle decks have completely different meanings based on whatever oracle deck you buy. So I would say start with a regular tarot or a oracle deck and learn those meanings, okay? This is the Starseed oracle deck that I have here. I love this deck. It's one of my favorite decks that I ever have, and it's one of my first purchased oracle decks, okay? This one is a 53 guided deck as well. It has a booklet. It also has spreads that will kind of give you more insight on what you want to know. Like I said, spreads are a great way to understand tarot more instead of just channeling general energy, because it gives you, quite literally, it tells you what you're going to be looking for here. Okay, so let's say we're doing the Soul Whispers spread. It says, this is a wonderful spread for hearing the whispers of your soul and turning them into grounded action. Many do this spread as a part of their daily spiritual practice. So it says card 1, what your soul wants you to know. And card 2 is grounded action, the action your soul is guiding you to take. So you could take this and adopt it into your practice and do it every single day, and that can help you learn the cards, because there's also the meaning of the cards here and a reflection portion. So if you want to journal based on the cards that you received, it can give you that insight as well. Now, take this slow. And also with oracles, you do not have to know every single oracle deck and what they mean. Like sometimes when I pull for clients for this oracle deck, it gives me meaning again in the picture. Look at the picture. Look at the description on the bottom. What is it saying? What is it meaning to you in this time? What is it expressing? Now, if you're not getting anything from the card, you can go in and look at the meaning in the booklet. There's nothing wrong with checking your work or checking back and looking at what it actually means, so you can gain more insight. The more you practice with the cards, the more you will understand the meanings automatically, and the more you'll amplify your gifts. Now, I would say be careful with who you are choosing to read from. I would also say that because when a person is channeling, they can also give you information that, is good, and some are bad. So take everything with a grain of salt if you're actually going to get these readings done, right? You got to be careful of who you're allowing into your energy, who you're allowing into your space when you're doing your own readings. So your own readings or other people's readings. This is also the Cosmic Insight deck. This is like a little cheap one that I got from TikTok. I love this one. It's cute. It has like different meanings. It gives you a little bit more insight on things. And I feel like all of it's about connecting within yourself and not letting the cards overpower you. Because if you take it back to your intuition is everything. So even when you are reading, sometimes the cards that you pull, let's say I got the Three of Wands, okay? Three of Wands represents expansion to me. It means waiting on a manifestation. It means taking action and allowing things to come to you, flow to you, and being intentional about seeing that expansion, right? If this comes out and I'm reading for somebody specific and I say something different than that, it doesn't mean that it's not true. It just means that I'm connecting to a different channel when the Three of Wands is being revealed, okay? So also knowing the signs and things like that can help you administer like knowledge based on what's going on in their zodiac chart as well, or their astrological chart. So this Hermit card, I see this card a lot because I'm a Virgo. So the Hermit card is the Virgo card. There's different cards in this deck that represent specific signs. And if you can know that and gain that knowledge for each card, it is also going to give you background knowledge or information about what's in their chart as well. Okay? So that's the basic breakdown of tarot. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments below. If you have any additional tips or tricks that you want to add, you can also add that down below. Thank you so much for being here. I hope this helped you. Let me know if it resonated, and I will see you again. Bye.